Hello everyone, welcome to Graphic Designers Workshop. Let us see how to create a software company logo in Illustrator. So let us start. First, let's create an ellipse. So we will hold shift and create a perfect ellipse. Right. And then make sure that the fill is active and the stroke is off. We will apply a gradient to this ellipse. So we will apply a black and white gradient to this ellipse. Right. So once we have applied black and white gradient, so here we have an option radial gradient. So we will change the style of the gradient to radial gradient. Right. And then we will just swap the colors. We want the dark color, means the black color, at the center of the ellipse. So simply we will click on this reverse option. Right. So now the black is at the center and the white is at the corners. Right. Then what we'll do is we'll go to effect, and here we have an option pixelate, and in pixelate we'll select color halftone. Right. And in color halftone, make sure that the channel 1, channel 2, channel 3, channel 4 values are 0, and we'll keep the max radius as 40. We can also try 50. Right. And simply we will click OK. Right. And we can see here we got all these dots. Right. And then if we move this object to the side, we can see a white color background. We need to get rid of that white color background. So for that, what we have to do is we will first expand. So we'll select this object and we'll go to object and select expand appearance. Right. And now we will remove that white color. To remove that white color, we'll go to window menu, and in window menu we have an option image trace. Just we will select this image trace. So we will see a dialog box. Here plenty of options are there, but we are only interested in this option ignore white. We'll simply click on it and we'll just turn on the preview. Right. And we can see here the white background is now gone. Right. So then what we'll do is we will expand the object one more time. So we'll simply go to object menu and we'll select expand. Right. The reason why I have expanded it is because we want to convert this object into a normal shape, into a regular shape, so that we can apply some gradients or different colors to this particular shape. Right. So now we can see all the dots. Now we will just apply a pure red color. Right. So here we are unable to apply red color because the color mode is in grayscale. So what we'll do is we will just select the option over here and we will apply a red color. Right. Right. Now what we'll do is we will convert this particular shape into a symbol. So I have already opened the symbols panel. And in case the symbols panel is not already open, so we can always go to window menu, and from window menu we can open symbols. We can also use the keyboard shortcut Shift Ctrl plus F11, or if you are using a Mac, we can use Shift Command plus F11. Right. Now we will simply select this object and we will drag it inside this symbols panel. And we will give it a name dots. Right. So it seems that the dots already exist, so we'll just give some other name. We'll say dot, right, and we will simply delete this object. Then what you'll do is, here we have the dot. Then what we'll do is, we will just select one more ellipse and we can give it a green color, and now we will split this ellipse into half. So we will select a rectangle, and now we will split this ellipse into a half. So we'll just keep the rectangle exactly to the half of this ellipse, right. We'll just move it a little bit to the side. Right, now we will select the ellipse as well as the rectangle, and we will just open the Pathfinder. So the Pathfinder is already open for me, and I have added my Pathfinder to my workspace. So in case Pathfinder is not already open, we can always go to Window and we can just open the Pathfinder. And we can also use the keyboard shortcut Shift Ctrl plus F9 in PC and Shift Command plus F9 in Mac. Right. And now we will shift select both the ellipse and the rectangle, and we will simply click on this option minus front. So what it will do is, it will subtract the front object. The front object over here is the rectangle, so it will be gone, right. So we need to get something like this. So then what we'll do is, we'll select this ellipse, we'll simply go to Effect menu, and in Effect menu we'll select 3D, and in 3D we'll select Revolve, right. So we got some kind of a cylinder shape, but we don't want cylinder, we want sphere. So to get a sphere, here we have an option left edge. So we will change the left edge to right edge. See, now we got an ellipse, right. And now what we'll do is, we will just import the symbol. To import the symbol, we have to select the option Map Art. Simply we will click on this Map Art, and when you click on this Map Art, we can see here a new dialog box opens, and in this dialog box we can see a graph. So we can see a graph, it looks like a mountain. So if you can't get this type of mountain, we can always just click on these arrows. So something like this. But it's alright. For me, I just got only one type of graph. But sometimes what happens is, we might get different types of graphs, right. So now what we'll do is, here we have the symbol option. So we will just map the symbol. So the symbol that we have just now created. So just scroll down and find the symbol that we have just now created. So the symbol name is dot, right. So here we can see. And one thing we can do is, we can just adjust the symbol, and we can see the changes over here. And we can also turn on this invisible geometry, right, and we can see here. And if we try to just rotate this symbol, we can actually see the changes. So what we will be doing is, we will just simply cancel this. We will just move this revolve option, this revolve dialog a little bit to the right, so that we can clearly see what's happening over here. And we will just click on this Map Art, and we will just apply the dots again, and we will just turn on the invisible geometry again, and we will just adjust it, right. And we can also just move this symbol to left or right, and we can also rotate it. So something like this. The symbol adjusts to the shape of the sphere. Right, something like this. And we can also stretch it. We can also move it. And we can also rotate it. Right. So once we have adjusted the symbol properly over this graph, we will simply click OK, and we will also confirm the changes by just clicking OK over here. Right. So now what we are supposed to do is we want to bring this symbol out of that 3D mode, out of that revolve mode. So to bring it out of that revolve mode, we have to expand it. Right, we'll select it, we'll go to object and we'll select expand. And after expanding, we have to ungroup the object. So simply right click on the object and select ungroup. We have to ungroup it several times till we get this option release clipping mask. Right. So now I got this option release clipping mask. And what will happen is, see, if we move this symbol, we can see two symbols, okay, and there is one more symbol which is inside. We also have to ungroup it. We'll simply right click on it, and here we can see the option release clipping mask. Right, and here some unwanted parts are there. We will delete these parts. Right, so wherever we see those unwanted parts, we can delete them. And we can align this front shape over the back shape. And we can also give different colors to these shapes so that we can differentiate between them. So we can just give it a light red color. So the inner shape has light red color and the outer shape has dark red color. So something like this. Right. So now we got a proper shape, and what we'll do is we can just rotate this, and here when I am trying to rotate it, I can see some extra shape here, unwanted shape. So I need to get rid of that shape, or let's say path. So simply delete it. Okay. And once we have deleted all the unwanted parts, we will just select the entire shape or the entire object and we will rotate it, something like this. Right. So then what we'll do is we will also create a sphere. So just we'll select an ellipse and we'll give it some green color, and we will also split this ellipse into half. We'll select the ellipse, we'll select the rectangle, and here in Pathfinder we'll select minus front. Right, and then we'll select the ellipse, we'll go to effect, we'll select 3D, and here we have the option revolve, and again we will change the left edge to right edge. So we got an ellipse, and we'll simply click OK. Right, and then we'll just go to object and we'll select expand appearance. Right, here we got a sphere. Right, so what we can do with this, so we can keep it exactly at the center of these dots. So what we can do is we will first reduce its opacity, and we'll just keep it over here, and we'll say right click, arrange, send backward. Right, something like this. Right, and then to make it more interesting, so we can do something special, that is we will be creating some arrows. So we'll just select a pen tool, we'll create a path, and when we are creating a path, we have to change the fill to stroke. So we will simply swap the fill. The fill becomes a stroke, and now we will adjust this particular path, something like this. Right, and then what we'll do is we want to apply some thickness to this particular path. So to get thickness for this path, we will use the width tool. So here we have the width tool. So by using the width tool, we will create some thickness to this path. So how we will create? So simply select the width tool, and here we'll just drag. We'll just click on that point and drag. Right. And then what we'll do is we will just go to object and we will select expand appearance. So we want to convert the stroke to a normal shape. So that is why we are expanding. So we'll just go to object and select expand appearance. Right. So then what we'll do is we will select a polygon, but we want a triangle, we don't want polygon, so we will just use 3 sides, right? And what we'll do is we'll just rotate it. We'll just right. So we will now select both the shapes and we will unite them, right? And then what we'll do is we'll just take one more duplicate of this particular shape, we'll make it small and we will change its color, something like this. And we will also select one more and we will also make it small and we will change its color as well. So we got 3 colors. And for these red dots, what we'll do is we will just take one more duplicate of these red dots and we will just give it a black color. We'll just say right click, we will just right click on these dots and we will just select arrange and we will say send backward. So we can use these black dots as shadows. So see here, we will align it properly. We can use them like shadows. So we can see here. So something like this, right? And we can also create a shadow for these arrows. So we can just take a duplicate and we will just give it a black color and then we will just right click, arrange and we'll select send backward. So here we can see. So we have created a shadow for this green arrow as well, and we'll do the same thing for this blue arrow as well, right? And we will just align it over the blue arrow and we'll right click, we'll select arrange and we'll select send backward. We'll slightly move it so that we can see the shadow, and we'll do the same for this particular red color arrow and we'll just duplicate it. We'll select a black color, right click, arrange, send backward, right? And we will just slightly move it, right? So now we have properly adjusted all the shapes, right? So then what is the next step? So we will just select the entire set of shapes and we will group them, right? So then what we will be doing is we will just simply type the name of the company. So we will say Soft Tech Technologies, Right. So we can change the font. So we'll select impact and we can give it a pure red color. And we can also just put an underline and we will just swap the fill and make it into a stroke. Right. And we'll just take one more duplicate, but before that we will just increase the thickness of the particular stroke. Right. And we'll just take one more duplicate of the stroke. Right. So here we have created a simple software company logo. So what we can do, what else we can do is we can also create a simple background. So first thing is we will just crop our artboard. We will activate the controls to adjust our artboard or crop our artboard. We'll just make it small. Right. And then we'll just create a rectangle and we will just swap the stroke to fill, and this time we'll be using swatches. So we can get some custom gradients, we can get some special inbuilt gradients from swatches. We don't have to prepare the particular gradient. So just open the swatches, and in case the swatches is not already open, we can always go to window menu and just open the swatches panel. Right. And at the bottom of the swatches panel we can find swatch libraries menu, and from swatch libraries menu we can select an attractive gradient. So here we have the gradients, and we will just open gems and jewels, and in gems and jewels let's select a light gradient, something like this, and we will simply right click on this rectangle, select arrange, and we'll click on send to back. Right, something like this. And then what else we can do is we can select this particular logo, and in case we want to give some shadow to it, we can always give some shadow to it. So what we'll do is we'll just go to effect, and here we have an option stylize, and we'll select drop shadow. So we have given a shadow to it, but we will reduce the opacity for the shadow. So we'll just keep it 30%. Right, and we'll just click OK. So this is a simple software logo that we have created in Illustrator. So now what we'll do is we will export it. So we'll go to file and we'll select export, and we'll select export as, and we will export it as an SVG file. SVG stands for scalable vector graphics, and SVG files have sharp edges. They are quality independent, they don't have pixels. So it's always a good idea to use SVG, or we can also use PDF. So I will simply put the name software logo. Just select export. Right. So we'll just check the final output. Right. This is a simple logo that we have created in Illustrator. So I hope you enjoyed the tutorial. Please do like, subscribe, share, and if you have anything to say, do comment. See you again.